Welcome to Apex Esports League. I'm JT. Tonight we're on iRacing for Pagnian Imports Formula V Championship. It is round 4. We're at Long Beach Street Circuit. Tonight's session, we've got 10 minutes of practice. Weather is mostly cloudy. There's 10 minutes of qualifying and the race is 40 minutes. Cars are capped at 47% fuel, meaning they will need to make a stop to get the car home. Looking at the standings, after the third round, we have Damian Cairns take the championship lead, sitting on 363 points, so he's only just 20 points ahead of Adam Jarecki. Previous results were at Alton Park Circuit. We saw Blake Urquhart make a clean sweep, taking the pole position, went on to take the victory and secured the fastest lap bonus points. All our drivers are competing for the chance to win a $50 Pagnian gift voucher courtesy of our sponsors Pagnian Advanced Simulation. So it's a fantastic prize for our drivers to be able to extend their collection of racing gear. So look out for them tonight as they're fighting for that championship spot. And over to the track, we are in the USA for Long Beach. The track length is 3.14 kilometers, and you can see there's a whole bunch of drivers already out on the track, so we'll cross over and see how they are going now. And as you join us to the stream, do jump in, say hello, and then don't forget to hit that follow button if you haven't done so already. We've got 14 drivers in the session at the moment. Dan, thanks for jumping on the stream. And over with Damian Cairns, our current championship leader. I think this is the first time he's taken a championship lead with us through Apex Esports League on iRacing. He's been there and done it through Project Cars. He's been getting some great milestones this series. So there'll be possibility to be able to see a win from him tonight. So I want to be trying to get up towards that top end as much as possible. Getting ready to head into the final round, where we can only have one claim victory at the end of the championship and secure that $50 voucher. We've also got a debut driver with us tonight. We've got Gary Myers. Gary is actually an actual Formula V driver, and he's saying in the chat beforehand that he's actually set his car up to be as closely similar to his actual V car that he races in Australia. So he'll be one to look out for. And he's only his first iRacing race tonight, so wishing a lot of good luck to Gary. Hopefully he can give these guys a good run for their money out there in the Formula Vs. Time out there is a 1:38.533. That's been done by Cameron Veacock. Drivers hoping that we may see Chaz Mossett jump into the race with them as well. He was just in the practice session beforehand. And he's been no stranger to us with the Formula Vs in Long Beach before. It's really great if you get out there on track and have some fun amongst them. Over to Sam Tucker. There's a minute left to practice. The drivers will have 10 minutes to set that qualifying lap. And there's 25 points on the line for that pole position. A fair bit of traffic down pit lane at the moment. Nathan Peters currently 6th quickest time. It's only about a 1.2 gap all up. So some pretty decent times being set out there. It's Cameron Blake that's actually only done a 1:38, and then the rest are setting 1:39s. Russell Gander in that 1:39 margin, as is Gary Buckland. Debut driver tonight as well, Damian Cairns joining us, so welcome aboard. I'm wishing all the best of luck. We just got out on track as the session ended. It'll now load into qualifying. Kieran Veacock first to load in and get on his way. We'll jump on board for a lap around Long Beach. Hey, Gallen. There's a very long pit lane. The driver's going to want to be staying out of there as much as possible. Has been quite a while since we've had a safety car. With the street circuit, there could be a higher possibility of seeing one tonight. Let's hope that they manage to be able to get through scathe-free. Cross over to Damian Cairns. Taking a very cautious out lap. They're just trying to find that correct spacing, get those tyres up the temp, because it is quite a ways around. It's not one that you want to be able to make a mistake on. Damian already having an issue on that out lap. With only 10 minutes to spare, you don't really have another nearly 2 minutes to spend on an out lap just to get around for another lap. Damian was lucky where he had spun, so you can at least be able to get the momentum through that final turn, ready to come down pitch straight and have a good amount of speed for that first timed lap. Hey DK, so jumping on. Yes, there's going to be some great racing tonight. Beach is always in for a good show. It's one of my all-time favourite tracks. It's a fantastic place to be throwing these cars around as well. And with the new damage model, it's not going to take much. They're going to be able to do much of a tap on those wheels, and they could potentially dislodge that wheel. There's 6.5 minutes remaining. We should be starting to see drivers getting close to crossing for their first time lap. And we've got another missing data as well. Gary Myers' name not showing up on the standings. There we go, first time's coming through. Sam Tucker lays at 1:38.923 straight off the mark. Blake Urquhart in with the second quickest time, nearly exact time as Sam Tucker. It's a 38.923 and a 38.959. Not a whole lot separating them. Cairns sets a lap and then brings that car straight back in. Does a 1:39.7. Gary Myers gets time in. 1:49. Couple of drivers overshooting turn 1. It's Lucas Burt and Gary Myers. Got Robbie Bradbury. Haven't seen for a couple of sessions. It's good to see him back out on track again. Karen Beacock was our quickest in practice. He's yet to get a time on the board. He's only got 4.5 minutes. It's not going to be leaving much opportunity. He's probably only going to get one golden lap in. Sam Tucker still holds that pole position. That lap he just completed was a 1:45. Could have potentially been held up. Damian Cairns just comes through for a lovely lap. I'm going to jump on board since we're pretty close to a lap here. It's a very long pit straight. Nice and tight line down through turn 1. Careful not to take too much curb at the fountain. Can steer that car out towards that wall at the corner exit. Normally along this section you just veer that car out slowly towards the wall. A little bit of contact wouldn't matter too much. However, this new damage model and the open wheelers is going to cause all sorts of dramas. Damian's got some huge pace here at the moment. His previous lap of 1:39.539. So you're going to shave off about 6 tenths and you can have pole position. And the final hairpins. And really put that car into a slide if you take any of that curb. And then the very final hairpin to come onto the final straight. Usually a high incident section. That takes him into second position. That was a 1:38.932. He's next to Sam Tucker's time. Sam Tucker just blinking out as well. Oh, Jarecki's just stolen pole, so Damian's been bumped back down into third position now. 1:38.647. There's only 0.057 difference between first and second. Adam is sitting very close to Damian on the championship standings. There's only 20 points. So these two are going to be having a fierce battle, I believe. And they've been bumped down again. Veacock's just taken pole position. That was a 1:38.177. There's only a minute 4 left. He's come back out, so it was just one golden lap and he managed to achieve it. Damian Cairns currently in with a 1:39.6. Oh no, sorry, 1:39 flat, I should say. car locking up, pulling up on that back straight. So there's only 30 seconds left to qualifying. This will be final lap for most. And it's unlikely we'll get to see a full lap get done before the session will end once we see the countdown. Standings at the top end move again. Stephen Banks squeezes into position 2. He's parking the car up. That's him done and dusted. Sam Tucker not improving his time. Cross is parked up. Blake Urquhart chasing Robbie Bradbury. He's going to be trying to use as much of that toe to wrap up this lap. See if he can get a bit more out of the car. His quickest time's been a 1:38.9. Almost identical to Cross's time. Oh, that's just done him for qualifying. What a solid hit. Those wheels just locked together. There's only a few drivers left out on track. Might be enough time for Gary to finish up the lap. And we'll try and cross over and catch these qualifying results. So we'll check out the qualifying results now before the session changes hands. Oh, I better bring up actual qualifying results. Cameron Veacock holding pole position, and the rest of the grid is Stephen Banks, Adam Jarecki, Sam Tucker, Damien Cross, Blake Urquhart, Damian Cairns, Russell Gander, Gary Buckland, Nathan Peters, Lucas Burt, Philip Buckland, Anita Buckland, Gary Myers, and Robbie Bradbury. Some lovely scenic views. Actually, it looks like there's... Did look like we had another driver loading him. I don't think it actually did occur in the end. The session just waiting on all drivers to hit ready. Otherwise, it'll get the countdown and move it across in a moment. There we are, session now complete. Over into the race cars. A couple of moments just to try and get their settings all set for the race. So we'll be seeing 15 cars grid up. It's going to be some exciting racing around Long Beach Street Circuit in the V's. 15 of them out on the track. There's some very tight times. So we've got 55 seconds left to ready up. He's waiting on Jarecki and Bradbury. These first few corners are going to be very interesting in the open wheelers. Trying to find your track position around Long Beach is very daunting as it is, let alone to be in an open wheeler. And our drivers are all readied up now.
Green, green, green.
And a beautiful getaway for Cameron Veacock. Banks is trying to hold on. Jarecki's also flying for in their toe already. Very quick down through turn one. Those tyres are cold as well. Oh, Banks gets very tight right up on that curb. And it looks like a clean getaway to the start of the race. So we've gotten through turn one. Nice and tidy. I think Gary Myers may have made contact. It may have been an off, I'm not sure. Well, there's been spinning at the back. Look like they've got through with no damage. It may have just been one car going for a slide. I don't think there's been too much contact. No toes required. Oh, there's some carnage going on with Cameron Veacock. There may have been a little bit of wall contact. Gary Buckland right on the tail of Damian Cairns. Oh, he goes for a pass at the final hairpin. He's going to have more than enough momentum to get the run on him on pit straight. Cross managing to still pull ahead of him. Side by side with Veacock and Urquhart. Urquhart has to bring that car in. He was staying out rather wide. Stephen Banks flying out ahead now. 1.8 second gap over Veacock. Looks like Veacock's going to be a little occupied with Urquhart. There's just been a hit. It's like Gary Myers having to tow the car. Looks like a lone incident. Looks like Lucas Burt's got some damage to the car. That thing is bouncing around. It looks like a front broken left wheel. The suspension's gone on that car. He's not far from pits there, it's not even touching the ground. I think it would be a handful to try and turn. That's why it just keeps going back into the walls. Is he going to be able to get it around the hairpin and then back across? He's going to be able to use that fast repair. It's not going to bode well for fuel though. Sam Tucker just using a fast repair as well. With the very long pit lane, drivers will need to be careful of that pit speed limit. The cars don't have a pit limiter button, so you do need to be aware of your speed during that journey. Banks starting to lose some of that gap. It's dropped about half a second. His previous lap was about a second slower than Veacock. That's while he's still getting the pressure from Urquhart. Cross is holding on. Cairns doing well up in 5th position. A little bit of spacing going on. He makes some wall contact that could be costly. And again, it didn't look like any physical contact there. Just how close these cars get to the wall. We will tend to hear a few scrapes against the wall. Even notice a few hits and sparks. However, that could actually be a result of lag. It may not actually be occurring. The drivers will be able to do a few little scuffs, and it only count as a time 0 contact. Veacock makes a mistake there, loses the position to Urquhart. Urquhart looking to overtake on Banks, down through turn 1 potentially. It's going to be pretty ambitious to go now. Wall scrape from Veacock. Banks slowly pulling back away from Urquhart. Makes a move to try and break that toe. And Veacock's going to go for a move. It's not enough. Cameron Veacock. Didn't get a great run out. Here we go. We've got Blake looking to go for a move. He's positioning alongside. We're going to go 3 wide. Nearly Veacock decides not a good idea. Urquhart gets the lead, but he's very quick. I think there may have been a tiny bit of contact between Veacock and Banks. He may have just nicked his back tyre. All it did was unsettle Veacock's car. What a fantastic opening 5 laps. These guys not letting up on each other at all. All it's going to take is one tiny little mistake from a bit of pressure, and it's to tap that into the wall. It'll all come unstuck for the whole lot of them. And Veacock goes for the move. He gets Banks. Banks drops right back. He wasn't going to fight him through that corner. Would have been a very risky move. It's like Veacock almost trying to position for a switchback. Veacock moves for the race lead. He's just got Urquhart now. Urquhart not wanting to give it up easily. And Banks is going to commit for a move. Can he get all three of them here and take the lead through turn 1? Marginally, but he has to yield out to Veacock. Risk contact. Geez, there was nothing between those cars coming down into the fountain. There's definitely some good close racing between those guys, Dan. Damian's getting front row seats to it all at the moment. He's just sitting back and waiting his opportunity. Urquhart's dropped back. Will Cross make a move? Tucker's back in the pits. It's showing that he's been in 4 times. He's having some big bad luck. Jarecki's just had to have a tow as well. While that battle out the front is in continuing, we have Philip Buckland and Russell Gander battling for 7th position. Gander's been having some very quick lap times. He's about a couple of seconds quicker a lap compared to Philip Buckland at this stage. So he's got the pace. He's just going to have to try and find the opportunity to get around. He's going to commit for a pass in turn 1. Nice, easy pass. Nice, easy move up into position 7. And just up ahead is Nathan Peters. He's currently a few tenths quicker than Peters' pace. So will he be able to close in about that 7-second gap? Watch our race leaders. Veacock still leading the way. A little bit slippery in the tail. It's cost him some pace. It's going to be a big opportunity for Banks and Urquhart to try and make a move down the straight. Go for this a little bit too premature in shooting out and around. That's going to cost him. Banks has executed that nicely. He's going to be in a very nice position. I don't know, Urquhart, is he? No. I almost thought he was going to go for a pass on that inside line. 3 wide. Banks resumes the race lead. Banks has led for 5 laps. Oh, nearly scrapes that tyre wall. Urquhart and Veacock get Banks here. They're going to have huge pace. Cross caught up a huge amount of ground by ducking off into that tow as well. He's nearly too wide. Veacock peels off into the pits. There's 25 minutes remaining, so we're not quite at the halfway point yet. Veacock probably looking to try and conserve rather than keep battling it out. So we're currently on lap 9, and these guys have not had a break at all. Been pushing these cars big time. Looks like Gary Myers up ahead. So blue flag will be shown. Brilliantly executed. So now Gary's enjoying his time out there in his first iRacing race. Cairns now needing to get around lap traffic as well. Banks now has a 0.6 lead over Urquhart. This will be his 6th lap that is led in the 9 laps so far. Urquhart's led for 2. Veacock also having led for 2, so a few lead exchanges. Cross sitting nicely for championship wise. If he can take another podium, he's going to be sitting nicely for points, ready to go into the final round. His closest competitor on the championship is Adam Jarecki, who's been having a lot of bad luck tonight. He's currently in 15th after towing. Cross goes to move up into 2nd position to pass Urquhart. A little mistake cost him some pace, but I don't think Cross has got enough to get up there. Urquhart still managed to hold off enough pace. Cross is going to have a little bit of an advantage here compared to Banks and Urquhart, they're battling it out fairly fierce. Well, Cross was just sitting in their toe for quite some time. Sunita Buckland being shown blue flag. Perfectly timed to be able to get around lap traffic. And they're on approach down pit straight. Damian Cairns takes the race lead now. Banks and Urquhart peeling off to grab that fuel. Cross now to need to be cautious to get around. Doesn't want to get caught up in an incident. Too much time, gets through very safe. And have Nathan Peters sitting in 2nd place now. Peters narrowly narrowly missing out on the fastest lap last week. Only by 0.002, I believe, was the difference in time. So will he be able to walk away with the fastest lap tonight? He had the pace for it last week. We've just gone past the halfway point. We'll take a look at the current standings. In 15th, we've got Adam Jarecki. He's currently 5 laps down. Gary Myers in 14th. He's a couple of laps down. Anita Buckland getting her pit out of the way now. She's in 13th. She's a lap down. Sam Tucker just off for a spin. Looks like turn 1. The car appears to have fared okay. Sam's not had the best luck with the walls tonight. He's been in the pits about 4 times from what my records are showing. He's currently a lap down with that many pit stops, so he's still managing to get back up there. Hopefully he can get a better run of luck and try and catch that lap back up. So he had the big pace in qualifying and practice. The car just not wanting to play nicely through the race. And up in 11th we have Lucas Burt. Gary Buckland in P10. Philip Buckland in 9th. Damian Cairns in 8th. Jose is now 7th. A little bit of movement. As we just had Russell Gander head into the pits. So it sees Philip Buckland in 8th, Blake Urquhart 7th. Damian Cairns in 6th. Cairns having also been in and pit, as has Urquhart. Urquhart seems to have dropped back a fair bit after that pit stop. He had a few seconds longer than Cameron Veacock, about a second slower than Banks. And in 5th position we have Robbie Bradbury. Bradbury not been in and pit yet. Just ahead is Stephen Banks. He's running 4th after getting that mandatory pit out of the way. He's currently 36 seconds away from race lead. Cross has been in and pit. Nathan Peters is in 3rd. He'll also need to head in and make a stop. Damon Cross did hold 2nd for a while. He's moved out into 4th position after making that pit stop. He gets out just ahead of Gary Myers. Have a lap card, have to try and get around on this lap, so there's a fair bit of traffic out there now. Sees Nathan Peters in position 2. And our race lead is Cameron Veacock. Looks like Sam Tucker is just getting around at the moment. With Cameron having already pit, and Banks drivers that have actually been in and got that pit out of the way is then Stephen Banks in position 3. There's a 6.8 second gap. In goes Nathan Peters. Smith's back up into position 2. Damien Cross into position 3. Just under a couple of seconds away from Banks. Fair bit of spacing now. 13 minutes to go. All drivers just about been in and got that fuel stop out of the way. Could be a couple more drivers yet to go. Yeah, Adam Jarecki making his stop now. He has been into the pits. That was a tow quite early on. So it's unlikely that he would have been able to take on any fuel at that point that would see him get the car home safely. Gary Myers quite possibly in that same situation. We have seen the drivers drag the cars out to the last few minutes before taking on the fuel. A little adjustment as he comes through that corner. Was starting to understeer towards the wall. Chase him around for a lap with some static cams. Oh, and he makes a scrape on that wall. Under braking. His lap was 1:38.7. We're starting to see those qualifying times now. Looks like the fastest lap of the race is a 1:38.2. Oh no, actually that's not true. A 1:38.1. And that's going to Blake Urquhart. Secured the 10 bonus points last week for the fastest lap. So they have dropped down in the 4th position. The extra 10 points can definitely do well. Can easily make up for a position. We'll have some contact down at the back of Damian Cairns. It looked like a pretty solid hit. I think he may have hit both wheels at the same time to the wall. So he may have escaped any serious damage. close in on Gary Buckland. We're doing well. We've gotten through 3/4 of the race. We've got all 15 cars still driving. So no incidents that have ended up resulting in retiring. A couple of tows have been required. It's great sportsmanship from all the drivers out on the track. This track can really shy off a lot of drivers. Just because everything can go wrong so quickly and then completely end your race. For drivers just to get the car back into the pits and then get back underway and keep driving just to get the car home. That's just great sportsmanship from our members. So we're on lap 18. There's 8.5 minutes to go. Beacock's led for 6 laps of the race. And sitting on a nice 9.1 second gap ahead of Banks. Urquhart's trying to close that gap to cross up ahead. He's about 3/10 quicker than Cross at this point. The Cairns makes the move on him. Urquhart's going to be able to take that line back though. Sounds like a fair bit of traffic just coming up. There's a lot of noise going on around the fountain as we crossed over. Oh, that was a solid hit. That was Lucas Burt. I was saying that. It was almost like a gunshot that went off. That was a huge sound. If it was Lucas's car, car seems to be fine. Who's that just ahead of him? Is that Damian Cairns? I'll go back and just suss out what was going on. That was a huge noise. Oh, that's not the button I want to pushing. That's the tyre walls. And our drivers narrowly avoid contact. Cairns decides to go in. He may not have taken enough fuel before. It's very interesting that he's decided to dart off into the pits here. He must have been taking fuel. It was a 35-second stop, possibly even some tyres. It's his second stop for the race. With under 5 minutes to go. So I'm going to see a few laps left in the race. About to wrap up lap 20. Looking pretty set to be able to take the win tonight, having led for 9 laps, an 11-second lead, with only a couple of laps to go in the race. He has been absent for the series, so it's not going to bode well for championship points wise to be able to have a chance at taking that voucher, but still a fantastic run. And that sees Damian Cairns sitting in a very nice position at this point in the race. He'll take another podium. He's leading the championship by 20 points. He's had a strong qualifying result. And he's currently 12 positions difference to his closest competitor on the championship, which is Adam Jarecki. Means if Damian can really gap this lead heading into the final round, just having another consistent run next week, not even possibly needing to push for a win, just to try and get another podium and qualify strongly, he could have a championship in the bag. That'll be his maiden championship win for iRacing. And then a $50 Pagnian voucher going his way. We'll be able to use that and our discount that Pagnian kindly gave us. And that's not just for our drivers, that's just for anyone that uses that code. So if you're watching the stream and you're looking at doing some shopping with Pagnian, during checkout enter in NLR-Apex-5 and you'll get 5% off your order. Burkhart's about 4 seconds away from cross at this stage. There's a minute 40 to go. We'll check over where our race leader is. So he's just wrapping up this lap. So he'll be coming on to the final laps now. This will be white flag, it's not yet come up. So there's only 1 minute remaining, so it's not enough to be able to conclude this lap before that timer counts down. You see all the filth on that visor. 40 minutes of racing. Peacock not holding back for this last lap. There's 7 seconds to go, so we'll see the white flag in a moment. I'll see Peacock take victory in round 4. Congratulations to Cameron Veacock, taking the win at Long Beach Street Circuit. Stephen Banks takes second, Damian Cross in third. Blake Urquhart in fourth. Now the drivers destroying their cars. Peter's really having trouble trying to get through. It looks like it was Gary Buckland's car. Not sure if he was just having some fun with the car at the hairpin or if it had gone for a spin. Sam Tucker crosses the line. Peter's in 8th. What a fantastic race to see tonight. And then no safety car needed at Long Beach Street Circuit. That's a feat in itself. Philip crosses in 9th. Gary spooling her up. Time for Gary. I'm not sure if Gary did take fuel or not, so he's managed to be able to get the car all the way through, if that is the case. That's Anita Buckland as well. Oh, there goes Jarecki for a slide for the free. He's still a couple of laps down. And he's having to grab the fuel on this lap, and there we are. And there's someone right in for a smoke show. That's Veacock. Well done to Cameron, enjoying those burnouts up pit straight, and then we'll bring up the results now. After 24 laps at Long Beach Street Circuit, Cameron Veacock is our winner, and what a solid drive with a 15.2 second lead in the end. And then Stephen Banks on the podium in position 2, Damian Cross in position 3, and then the rest of the standings is Blake Urquhart, Nathan Peters, Russell Gander, Robbie Bradbury, Damian Cairns, Philip Buckland, Sam Tucker, Gary Buckland, Lucas Burt, Anita Buckland, Gary Myers, and Adam Jarecki. Let's see who we've got in the chat. Congratulations, guys, getting on the podium.
Yeah, can't believe it.
That's going to be doing well for your championship lead, Damian.
Yeah, I still can't believe it.
You had 20 points over Jarecki, and then he finished 15th. So that's quite a gap to be able to go into the final round now. So another consistent podium next week, and that might be a win.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
And congrats, Stephen. It was pretty tight drive for most of that. Urquhart and Veacock not letting up for a good portion of those first 5 laps.
Yeah, no, it was good. Good start to the race, and we all were racing pretty tight, pretty clean, and it was just good fun. And then Cam went into the pits kind of right at the start of the pit window, and I thought about following him, but I didn't. I thought maybe the 3 of us could stay out and with a tow and whatnot, but we had a bit of traffic, and then I think, yeah, I've got to get some lessons off Cam for pit stops. He's out doing us big time there. I think I came out about 5 seconds behind him rather than, a second or half a second. So, yeah, that was the second half of the race wasn't as interesting, but I had Demon in it interesting the whole time, so I couldn't take it easy at all.
No, you couldn't let up just yet because he was close enough to be able to still nab you.
Yeah, no, he was there to pounce. So, yeah, it was a good fun race. So, cheers, Damon, And
Yeah.
well done, Cameron.
Yeah, what a drive.
Yeah, thanks, boys. Those first few laps were very interesting. I couldn't get the car settled. I ended up nearly going skyward at one point, and then Blake and I had a bit of a coming together. And I think I may have clipped Adam as well. And I'm not sure what happened because I saw brake lock up in the corner, and I had nowhere to go. So I jumped on the Yankees, and I think I may have got Adam. Which
I was really hoping to see some wheels in the air in my rearview mirror at that stage, but it didn't happen.
Yeah. What followed after that, though, was a lot of fun. I was half expecting someone to dive in the pits with me when I went, but I had my overlay telling me there was a lot of traffic if I was going to pit in the next couple of laps. So I dived when I knew I was coming out into a bit of fresh air.
Yeah, it was a smart thing. I think it took a litre less fuel too.
Yeah, much quicker stop, 11.8 seconds, so it was actually the quickest of all stops.
I needed 4.5 litres to get me home. So I was watching for the window from the time I could get in, and as soon as I knew I could get in, I dived and just filled it up, whatever it gave me, and ended up with about a lap and a half worth of fuel. At the end, I still had about 800 mil or something.
Yeah, it only does it in 1 litre increments, so which is quite probably 4 laps or something like that.
I could have got away with 4, but I was sitting in the tow for most of the race, so.
Yeah, I
thought that was almost going to be a good advantage here because you're sort of sitting back in 4th for
well,
quite a while, just enjoying that tow while they're flat out fighting each other. So
yeah, well, that was the idea. I didn't have the pace on my own, so I thought I'd just sit in the tow and hopefully they'll take each other out, and if not, I'll save fuel.
Yeah.
And then when Adam pitted, I stayed out with the boys because I thought, well, at least I get a tow with these guys, so that's all good. But then when they pitted, I thought I'll stay out. But I ran into a little bit of traffic, which probably didn't help. But then when I came out next to Stephen, I went, this is okay. And then I noticed Blake was a little bit back, so I don't know if he must have made a mistake or something. But then as I was sitting behind Stephen, I was just trying to grab onto his back and hopefully he'd pull me along because I knew Blake was only about 4 seconds behind and he was catching. But then he'd seemed to make a mistake and drop back to 5 seconds. So.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he might have been fighting with a bit of tyre where it really seemed to be slippery towards that back end. And same with you, Cameron, too. I noticed the car started to sort of slide off towards the wall a few times.
Yeah, so I found the car started to understeer towards the back end, and I think that might have been because the fuel was coming off, the car was getting lighter. So I was just trying to push the car too hard in certain corners, and it just felt like it was going to keep going.
Yeah.
But yeah, it seemed to grip up just at the right times. I think one point I reckon I would have had my wheel on the wall or the mirror through the wall or something, because looking at my side mirror, like my side of my monitor, was so close.
Yeah, there was plenty of scrapes and bangs of sparks that we could hear and see going through some of those corners, so you were getting very close.
It was a massive save Cam pulled off going into the hairpin. I don't know how he pulled it off, but yeah, he saved that. That was pretty impressive.
Oh, is that where I hit the ripple strip on the left hand side and went straight for that jut in the wall?
Yeah.
Oh.
I thought you were gone.
I thought I was going too, don't worry.
Yeah.
I was clutching and down in gears as much as I could. And thankfully it pulled up and I could turn.
No, it was
very
pretty
lucky.
Impressive. Well done.
Yeah,
Thanks,
very
boys.
good drive. He's done a great job. So just to even get the cars home with no injuries around Long Beach is a feat in itself, and no safety car for all 15 drivers, no retirement, so fantastic.
In the practice session, I reckon I did more pit exits than I did laps. So,
yeah, no, congratulations.
Well done, Cam and Stephen. Thank you. Thanks,
Yeah,
George.
cheers,
Thanks,
Damian.
JT. Thanks, boys. That was
fun.
Yeah, and then all the best for heading in for your potential first shot at taking an iRacing championship next week too, Damian.
Yeah, a bit nervous.
So
but
Tsukuba circuit as well, so a lot
You
of
should be
people's,
real nervous.
That's all right, Damo.
That's all I care about.
Hey, Damo.
Yeah.
I'll come and do a session with you and we'll talk some strategy.
Oh, nice.
There you go. It's in the bag.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Well, I did think the KFC boys were going to stay out a little bit longer than they did and just keep draft swapping them the entire time to try and get that little bit of advantage, but
we just found we were coming across the traffic, so we had to, Your overlay was pretty correct. Heavy traffic ahead.
yeah, definitely when I was watching it, it because I got the track map up, it was showing a massive bunch of traffic where I was due to come out, and I'm like, nope, not doing that. That was wind death.
Very handy little overlay, that one.
Yeah,
It is a very handy
I'm
one.
looking for that one. Where's that? Where do I get that from?
Website, please.
It's actually not used typically for driving overlays, but it's SDK.
Oh,
So
okay,
it's
yeah.
Oh
the
yeah,
live timing.
SDK. Yep.
But it also has a fuel calculator in it,
That's
which
what I
is
did.
really, really accurate. I've not had an issue with it.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Sounds good.
Beautiful. I'll look that one
So,
up.
and it has a track map on it that actually shows you your pit out position, and if you put your transit times in and everything, it'll calculate exactly where you're going to come out on the track map and show you where you will come out in amongst traffic.
That's impressive.
That's handy. Yeah.
It's a very, very good overlay if you want to get it, because it works for all cars, the V8, the whole lot.
I'll be definitely looking into that.
I was going to say,
Alright.
because
We're going to be seeing some pretty nifty pit stops going on now, I think.
Oh damn! I've given my secret away.
No, that's
Yeah.
what this
Makes-
league's about.
makes it
Helping
tighter.
others.
Exactly right,
That's
boys.
it.
Exactly right. I'd prefer to have those tight battles like we did early on. And this car is pretty much all about strategy, really. All
Yeah.
the driver skills about the same, so it really comes down to getting your strategy right. That can be the difference between winning the race and binning it.
Yeah, I found this track was the most different out of the ones that we've raced, like in this car. Because a lot of the other tracks, you're trying to just keep a good flow, high speed up. But there's a few more braking zones in this one and stuff like that. So
No, totally. This is a completely different track to the previous
Yeah.
3, I think. Yeah.
A lot of the hard thing too is if you're going down gears in corners you don't need to, you're potentially causing that oversteer or snap oversteer, and the bumps
Yeah.
don't help either.
that's where I lost my most confidence, was around the Dolphin Fountain at the end
Yeah.
of that race. So the
Mm.
rest of it was fine, but I was just getting a bit worried about a snap oversteer changing down to a gear there.
Well, I did notice that Banksy and Blake were shifting up to fourth briefly down that little middle straight, and that was hurting you guys massively on speed.
I held.
Yeah,
I held.
I
third
normally
all the way
don't.
down.
I normally
Yeah.
hold third, and then there was a couple of times it was just normal reaction because the tail and whatnot, and going a little bit faster. I slipped in the fourth, and I was like, "Oh shit, what did I do that for?" Now I've got to watch the downshift and the snap over steer. So yeah, no, you're right. That was a mistake putting it up to fourth. Anyway,
still a good race,
all worked
boys.
out.
Yeah, it did.
Good race.
Congratulations
Great
on the podiums, guys.
Yeah.
Thanks, buddy.
Thanks,
Next
Dave.
week. Bye. There's our podium finishes with Cameron Veacock taking the win and giving some great advice. If you're a sim racer out there, you can check out some of the stuff that he did mention. That could be a very handy little feature. And then, of course, Stephen Banks taking position 2 and Damian Cross, our championship leader, taking position 3. So that's going to be looking good for his championship standings. So do check out our Facebook page to be able to stay up to date with the results and standings as those get posted over the coming days. And as I mentioned just before, we will be doing the final round next, and that is Monday at 7:30 PM Australian Eastern Standard Time next week, and that's at Tsukuba Circuit in the 2000 full layout. And it's going to be some very tight racing again in the Formula Vs. It is a nice little track for those cars, and it's going to be very tight with some very interesting passes, so it'll be a good way to wrap up these cars. So will we see Damien be able to take his first win, or will we see another lead in the championship and have it taken away at the final round? So do hit that follow button if you haven't done so already, so you can be notified when we go live with that. And we do have the BMW M1 Pro Car Cup this Thursday night on Project Cars, and that's at the same time, 7:30 PM. Thanks for tuning into the race tonight, and we hope to see you trackside next time.